Man, I sure love playing Tetrio. It is such a balanced and relaxing game that I can play against people with. I will make a lobby and invite people so I can crush them instantly. They will never see it coming.
Alright, so what is timing all about? Well, it can best be described by how you manage your garbage queue. This right here is your garbage queue. Lines your opponent sends will show up here. Your garbage won't show up on your board until you place a piece with no line clear. And this should be pretty simple. There will be a few cases where you won't be able to do that, however. Here's our first example. So, we have a pretty big board and we're about to send a huge attack. But the problem is, our opponent gave us 18 lines of garbage, which is almost a whole board. So we're going to do one of two things. We can either tank, meaning we place a piece down without clearing a line, and we take all the garbage, or we cancel, meaning we send our attack early and reduce the amount of garbage on the board. So, you have 10 seconds, pause the video if you need to, decide whether you want to tank or cancel. If we take a look at the board, we're very high on our well, and we have tons of garbage that we need to deal with. So if we tank this, we're probably going to top out. So in this case, we're going to use both our eyepieces to cancel all of the garbage, and hopefully we can live a bit longer, even take the round, instead of topping out early. Here's our second example. We have a board that's pretty high, and we have 4 lines of garbage in our queue, and we're about to send a huge attack. But the question is, do we tank or cancel? Give you 10 seconds to figure this out, pause if you need to. The important part about tanking and canceling is knowing if the next piece placement will top you out if you don't clear a line. If you place this J piece right here, you're only taking 4 lines of garbage, meaning you're going to survive. And if you do that, you can send your attack to your opponent. Not only that, but you also get clean lines that you can send right back, giving you a slight advantage. Here's our last example. We have a pretty high board, and we have a lot of garbage, about 14-15 lines. But we have a really good combo coming up. So, should we tank or cancel in this case? Once again, 10 seconds, and go. Alright, so this one was a bit tricky actually. Although we have a lot of garbage in our queue and we're pretty high on our board, we have a huge well in the center, and we can actually tank this the first piece. And after that, we can start canceling out. And we're going to have a huge clean well that we can use later and possibly win the round with it. So, what do we have to consider when we manage our garbage? Well, there's a few factors that we need to think about. First priority is board height. You can't tank the board if you top out, or get out easily if you're near the top. Second is if you have your own attack. Having more potential lines sent encourages tanking garbage. Third is cheesy garbage. Taking cheese is much harder than dealing with it clean. And last but not least is Passthrough. It's essential that you know what it is if you already know about canceling and tanking. So, what is Passthrough? To understand how Passthrough works, we need to talk about how our garbage is being sent. When you send garbage, it takes about 20 frames or a third of a second to reach the opponent, on top of network lag, so it can go from 20 to 200 frames. If you and your opponent send garbage in that same time frame, then the garbage will not cancel, and both players will be sent lines. This is called Passthrough, and it's one of the most game-changing mechanics in Tetrio. Here's an example. So on the left board we have a C-spin ready, and on the right board we have a Tetris ready, and obviously the C-spin's going to send more damage. But how are we going to get the opponent to top out? Well, what we can do is send it at the same time. So if we send the C-spin when they send the Tetris, then both will be sent. And and the Tetris player will have more garbage to deal with, rather than just having 4 lines. And will be more likely to top out. And one last note before this video ends, is how to avoid pass-through. If you want to cancel garbage but avoid pass-through, you'll have to wait. If your opponent sends an attack, wait until their garbage shows up in your queue, and then you can send all your lines to cancel, a very effective tactic for defensive players. Anyways, I hope you learned something new, and as always, thank you for watching.